Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm inviting Francisco to join us for this live event. Let's see if he comes online. Very nice to see you all joining. Okay, let's see. Okay, while everybody's joining, including Francisco, for those who don't know me, my name is Marian, and I am the co-founder of the Actor Space, which is a center for training, research, and creation of the dramatic arts. This year, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary, and Francisco Gomez is one of our associates. Okay, I'm just saying hello to people here. Let's just see if I can get Francisco to join. We've just done a tryout, actually, and it worked, so he should be able to join. In the meantime, I'll introduce him. So Francisco is a Portuguese writer, actor, and storyteller. And, oh, okay, hold on a minute. Hold on, guys. Okay, don't you love technology, yeah? When you really need it, then it doesn't work. So why is Francisco not able to join? I really don't know, but let's hope he will. Anyway, as I was saying, Francisco is there you
Hello.
are. There you are. Okay, great. Hello,
Hi.
Francisco.
Were you talking
How
about
are
me?
you?
Were
Sorry?
you talking about me?
Yes, I was just introducing you. I was just saying that you're a Portuguese writer, storyteller, actor. You're an associate of the Actor Space. You've been coming to the Actor Space for 14 years, in fact.
Yeah.
You've done script writing workshops with us. You are also a member of the company, of the new company, the Actor Space One, that is now producing a show. And well, there you are. Welcome.
Hi. Well, yeah. Well, nice to be here, Marian. So thank you, first of all, for the for the talk and the opportunity to be here. Talking with a wonderful person as you are about interesting things. So
Yeah,
so thank you very
fantastic.
much. And,
yeah, thanks for accepting the invitation. That's really great. So, Francisco, I know you love stories and you are very interested in how to tell stories in the best possible way. And you're always researching this, you've studied this quite in depth. Why are stories so important to you?
Well, stories are important to us all, I think. I think that actually stories, actually, when I was coming home today, I passed through by a bookshop, and there was a very interesting quote. I can't remember the writer, but the quote was that the world is not made of atoms, but it is made of stories. And I agree with that, because stories are what make sense of all of this. It makes the experience that we are having meaningful. Okay, all of this. So I think stories are everywhere since the beginning of time. Like the ancient man, the caveman, made kind of grunted something like stories in order to tell what happened, or in order to make sense of the lightning or whatever. That's how mythology came up, right? So began to make sense of the world in order to share it with others and to make it manageable. So we're still doing that, of course. We became really, like, since the Greeks, of course, Aristotle put it more into devised the theory, etc. So we've been actually trying to figure out how to tell stories better, because they're everywhere. That's our way to navigate the world, and to actually live like in a simulation vicariously by we live multitude of experiences through other people's stories, whether it be in a book, a conversation, or whatever. So it's how we navigate.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Is it also something to do with knowing ourselves, knowing who we are, kind of understanding? I mean, we tell stories to children, it's since they're very little, right? Understanding who we are, understanding the world. Fantastic.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. We start with that. We start with children's stories because we want to tell them what could go wrong if they don't behave in a certain way. The big bad wolf is just that. Okay. If you talk to strangers And if you don't obey to your mom's instructions, you can end up really bad. So,
Okay. Francisco, I know that you actually studied advertising, correct me if I'm
yes,
wrong,
yes,
and
yes.
you actually worked in an agency as marketing, right?
Yeah.
And at 41, you decided to leave all that and you became a full-time actor and writer. I mean, to me, that sounds like quite a strong, courageous decision to take. How was this for you to actually go, right, okay, I'm just going to become a writer and actor? How was this experience?
Well, it was not a sudden thing, you know. I was preparing it for a long time. Actually, I studied marketing and communication, corporate communication and advertising, which I enjoyed a lot. I mean, it showed me a lot of things, and but actually, I always sensed in a way that that wasn't fulfilling me much, you know. That was not I was not excited for it as I wanted to be. So in the meantime, while I was doing the marketing and advertising career, I got interested in theater, and I was always interested in writing and in stories, of course, since I was a child. And anyway, so that came actually to a point in which I was completely, you know, an alarm was kind of when I was waking up every single morning, and the first thing I said when I thought of when I went to work was swear word, was shit or fuck or something like that. So that was not a living, you know, that was not a life, you know. So the opportunity came for me to just, you know, just get out of there. And actually, and I've never regretted that ever. Like not a single day passes by that I don't say, yeah, that was a very good thing. So it was risky, but to tell you the truth, I didn't have children, so nobody depended on me. So it was just on me. If something went wrong, okay, that's on me. So
Okay.
that was how can I say, that was a very good decision at the time, and I don't regret it. I never regretted it. So
Fantastic, wonderful, cool.
yeah.
So, in your opinion, because here we want to talk about creativity and how can we live a fulfilled creative life, you know? So, how do you think we can live a fulfilled creative life? Would you say?
Okay, good. So can I tell a story? Because to answer your question,
Of course.
actually, we're talking about stories. Well, the story is this, right? So it's really short. It's actually a true story. So a while ago, like many years ago, a Portuguese reporter, was walking with an architect, you know, a paisagistic architect, nature architect, and they were walking in his park. This architect had made a park. So the architect was explaining to this reporter, you know, so there will be trees, there will be whatever, and over there, you know, there will be ducks. So the reporter asks the architect, "Oh, so you're gonna put ducks in there, right?" And the architect looks at the reporter and he laughs, right? What are you saying, man? Of course we will put ducks there. We will create the conditions for the ducks to come, right? So that's a very, I think, very telling story in many subjects in life, but I think mostly about, of course, creativity. So how can you live a creative life? Well, you don't get creative for in a day or what. You create the conditions for that to happen, in my opinion. So how do you create conditions? If you think of creativity as the ability to, you know, to think of different ideas and associate them in a very interesting and different way, well, one thing that you can create conditions for you to be more creative is like, well, read more, watch more movies, travel more, talk to more people, get to know different things, get interested in different areas and disciplines, because one day that will all make a big boom in your head, and you'll be more agile and alert in order for you to make those associations, creative associations, better.
So yeah, sorry, go on.
No, so in order to ask, so there's two things, right? I think first you create the conditions in order for creativity to happen. in all those things. So in order for the ducks, the ideas to arrive, right? So, and then you practice it, because if you don't practice, if you're not alert and you don't practice creativity a lot, like associate more, like try different things in actually a planned and disciplined way, you'll never, you won't go far unless you're a genius.
Yeah. So in other words, create the space for it, create a platform for it to happen, and then practice it. Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me, because, you know, we're so busy. Sometimes we don't create space for new things to happen. So we need to create that space, right? Yeah. For the ducks to come. Wonderful. Sure. The conditions. Yeah. Really nice. Thank you. Okay. So let's do a little bit of action now. How can we come up with ideas for stories? Do you have a practical exercise we can do right now, right here with the people that are listening? If you want to, you can do this exercise. It'll be a couple of minutes. You don't have to share it. It's only for your own benefit. So maybe, Francisco, do you have an exercise we could do? Writing or thinking or?
Yeah, well, there's billions of things that you can, let me tell you. Okay, so there's many techniques. And what these techniques in creative writing, as we are talking now, creative writing, these techniques, what they do is that they emulate, they simulate what happens in your head naturally. If you are, what we call inspiration is, I had an idea. Yeah, but that's something went on in your brain. What the creative exercises and techniques do is that they simulate that in order for you to not have to wait for an apple to drop in your head and, I got an idea. Right. So in order for the ducks to arrive more quickly, you know, in our metaphor. Yeah. So something that I actually, in my creative writing workshops, I do is this. So a simple concept, right? The simple concept is the concept of the tilt. Okay. So you have a platform, everything. So in writing, in a good story, as Simon Edwards, the founder of the Actor Space, says a lot, like, you know, expectation meets reality always in a story, in a good story. So things don't end up as they seemed at first. So the thing is, if you have a platform in a story, you have a platform, a stable platform. Let's say you open a bottle of wine, right? That's the platform. And that if something weird, strange, or unexpected happens, that's a tilt. That's when expectation meets reality. Right. So you have the tilt, right? So a simple exercise is to practice tilts. Okay. So for instance, you have a bottle of wine. You're opening a bottle of wine. What could happen? Like, that is not expected. Oh, good wine. No, that's not a story. That's not conflict. Okay. So a good story would be, okay, or something like that. So tilt. Open a bottle of wine. Oh my God, a genie comes out and he asks you, okay, give me 3 things. You know, the inversion of it. So that could be like that, or it's not wine, it's water. So what is it? So an exercise is this. I'll give you a platform. So we'll come up with tilts, all right? So imagine this. Okay, you open a bottle of wine and so you write the next thing, whatever. What is the tilt? What is the difference? The expectation meets reality. Right. Or let me give you another example. You throw a ball for your dog to catch in a park, and the ball goes to a bush, and the dog goes in. And what happens next? It's not what we expect that's gonna happen. It's something else. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So shall we try that? Yeah, so think of those 2 situations, opening a bottle of wine, or the other one is throwing a ball to a bush for your dog to catch. Okay, I'm gonna actually do that myself as well. So we'll just give a couple of minutes, yeah, go for it, to do the exercise. So the exercise is you open a bottle of wine. For those who have pen and paper with you, you can write this down. You open a bottle of wine. And something happens. Yeah, okay, and the other one is you throw a ball to a bush for your dog to catch.
Sorry?
You throw a ball to a bush for your dog to catch. The dog goes in and
to a bush for your dog to catch, right? And And the ball goes into the bush, and okay,
And
and what
what?
happens?
So
Okay,
like think of one or two situations, not more.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So let's just give a couple of minutes for people to do this.
Yeah,
Okay,
just 1 minute is enough, I think.
1 minute. Okay,
Yeah.
1 minute. So we're just gonna
Okay.
put some music just for a little bit of
Good.
fun,
Yeah,
and
nice.
we'll do it. Okay.
Nice, nice. Creative, creative music.
Okay.
Have you got it?
Yeah.
Great,
Okay, I've got it. So,
great. So let's go for it.
okay, shall I share mine? I mean, people won't
Sure,
share theirs because it'd
sure.
be too complicated, but I'll just share mine. Okay, so
Yeah.
you open a bottle of wine and the house next door explodes.
Yeah, detonator. Yeah, great.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. So you throw a ball to a bush for your dog to catch, and the ball goes into the bush. As you pick it up, you find your wife having sex with your best friend.
Wow, that's unexpected, huh? That's
Yeah.
unexpected and dramatic.
Yeah. All comic. Yeah, it depends, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it could be all sorts of things, you know. You can go to the real realm of, or the fantastical, the surreal, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the dog goes, Natasha Elmir, the dog goes in and wakes up in a flaming belly of the sleeping dragon. Yeah, that's a take. That's a fantastic take on that.
Oh, I didn't see that. Where do you
Yeah,
see
Natasha
that?
just published. Yeah, just published on the comments.
Right, I don't see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, the dog goes in and wakes up in a flaming belly of a sleeping dragon.
That's perfect.
Ooh, wow.
That's perfect. It could be anything.
Right.
Like
Yeah, it can be. It can go into fantastic. It can go into dramatic, real. The wine ends up on the shirt. Person gets angry. Anger. Remember something. Scene flashback.
Yeah, that can trigger a different story. It can trigger a traumatic event or something like that.
I threw the ball into a bush for my dog to catch, and as he started running after it, the ball flew back out of the bush in a big curve.
That's good. That's great. Yeah,
Right,
that's an inversion.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
everything can happen. A dinosaur can come up with the dog in his mouth.
Sure, right.
Anyway. So the important thing is
I mean, now we did it in 2 minutes, but you can give it some proper thinking and, find interesting twists to it. Bottle of wine. You open the bottle, what happens? You hear someone saying hello from inside the bottle. Wonderful. The dog comes out of the bush with an inflatable dog. The dog returns out with the ball again. Okay.
Well, we could go on forever.
That's what we expect.
That's
Martin,
good. That's
great.
good. That's
dog
great.
Disappears. Owner needs to talk to a person, falls in love, dog appears. Okay. Yeah, lovely.
Well,
lovely.
we could go on forever. There's things that could happen. The thing is to make yourself in a state of trying to find alternatives. Okay, alternatives, things that are not, expected.
Yeah, so, I mean, it could be, for example, you come back home from work tired, you open the door to your house, and like it can be any situation, right?
You go to
banal,
stage,
normal
you
situation.
Open your mouth to say the first lines of a play. What happens?
Yeah, anything. I mean, the thing is, if we start with the banal, with that which we know, right, and then the twist, is what we don't expect, is the magical thing or the dramatic or comic thing. Right, okay.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Okay, let's go on then. So now we have an idea. What do you do next?
Well, let me tell you something, right? So all these techniques are just a gym, okay? They're a gym. They're not a thing in itself. Okay, I want to write a novel. Okay, let me do some creative. No, it's not. That's not the point. Why? The point of these exercises are to, first of all, they can unstuck you if you want to get to an idea. But first of all, it's to make you more agile and more used to creative thinking and to the agility of associating ideas. It's not that for you to come up with an idea for a novel or for a play. But once you get proficient and used to these things, you are equipped with more agility in order to identify when an idea comes to you that resounds deeply with you.
Right.
Because one thing is important is this: things have to be truthful. It's not fake. Oh, let's a dinosaur or whatever. No, it's not fake. It must. You will find a duck, meaning idea, arriving in importance when this resounds. This resounds with what I think, with what I am. So I want to write that. So the thing is, when those techniques come in order to make you more able and agile in order to work with that. Okay. To
I understand.
And to work with that. So
I understand. So okay. So let's say I get a really good one. I get a gem. What do I do next? What do you do next? Because I know you're right. What do you do next?
What I do next is I can do one of two things. Okay. One is put it on paper immediately and try to write something that comes to mind. Okay, like the bottle. Okay, the guy is inside a bottle. Okay, what story could this be? So I can have the urge to start writing, but that is a speedway. That is a speedway to getting stuck, I think. Why? Because sometimes then it goes away. You're fed up with that. It goes nowhere. So what I think it's more profitable is that to think about it beforehand.
Yeah.
So think about the story structure, meaning exactly that. So I have this idea. So what could this story be?
So then you need So then you need structure. You need to know about story. You need to have studied. You need
to understand the characters. You need to understand what's it about. In your opinion, what's it about? It can actually look. I write many things. I don't know what's it about, but I have an idea of what I'm trying to say. Even though I discover later, then it means something else. Okay,
Sure. Okay, right.
So what you do is you try to structure it a little bit in order to give you the spring. To give you the go when you commit to writing, because then you have to commit to writing. That's a very important thing. Commitment. You have to discipline yourself to write it. And just go and start writing.
Okay.
That's it. So structure it a little bit. Then when you have the idea, play with it, and then go on and discipline yourself to make it through.
Fantastic. Okay. So now, sometimes it's hard to be creative. We all have bad days. We all have problems. Sometimes we're uninspired. Do you have any strategies we can use for those bad times?
So look.
So say you're stuck, right? You're stuck and you're banging yourself against the wall. You're on your own, like, what do you do in these moments?
Well, first of all, is that you're stuck. If you're stuck, you should occupy yourself. You just distract yourself with something else. Something else. Because if you're too stuck and you're obsessed with something, you won't go anywhere. Particularly in creative thinking, the more you try to structure and rationalize things, they won't happen because you will close the channel. So you have to just do something else. Wash the dishes.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk.
Run.
Like just walk your dog, like cook, whatever. Because when you get in your brain in this kind of different state, you will unconsciously start solving things and associating things again. So that's what you want to do in creative thinking, is you want to be able and available to associate freely. So when you're stuck and you're focusing too much, it's counterproductive. So go somewhere else, do something else, and then come back. But do come back.
Right.
And then Where was I? Okay,
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
And start doing little things.
Yeah.
If you're stuck with writing, start one word, one sentence, whatever it is. And then, oh, I'm stuck. Well, yeah, the guy was stuck, whatever. Try associating things. So that's where the creative gym comes in. And then why not try some techniques that keep you going, to make you start.
Can you name a couple of important qualities an actor should have? Because you're an actor, you do storytelling, you know, you're a storyteller, you're an actor. In your opinion, a couple of qualities an actor should have?
Well, first, I think the first one, or well, one of the first or most important ones, I think it's to be humble. I think that's very important. That's my take on that. Because humble, when you're an actor and you go to acting as with humility, you are more available to learn and to do more things. Because if you go, oh, I know it all, I know I'm the king of this, I know I mastered the technique. Actually, you don't know anything. Usually, we don't know. There's so much more than we don't know than what we do know. So if you're humble, because I take the opportunity to tell something which is stuck with me till today, right? So when I went to the actor space the first year to do the clown workshop, which was amazing, like an amazing experience I will never forget. Anyway, so when I was leaving, I was telling Simon, actually, oh, Simon, because your feedback, the way that Simon gives feedback is an art in itself to people, to actors. So it's a very generous and wonderful thing. So when he was, my last few words to Simon, I didn't know if I would ever see him again. So I said, hey, Simon, look, thank you because the feedbacks that you give there in the courses are gems. It's an art in itself, the art of giving feedback. So Simon told me like something that I will never forget, which was, oh yeah, well, yes, well, you're quite talented, he told me. But in the end, this is not about you. And I was like, oh my God, man, this was a kind of a revelation. I don't know what someone was trying to convey there, but I knew what I got from there, right? So I knew, in my opinion, so because art, acting, whatever you do, it's not about you, ultimately. It's about something else. It's about humankind. It's about the universe. It's about life. It's about the endeavor of some people in global. So you're trying to contribute as little as you can to all of this. So it's not about you. It's not about Francisco being an actor or whatever, writer. No, you're contributing to something.
Right.
And if you're part of it, it's amazing.
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So you said one, humble.
Humble.
Another one.
Second one, I would say.
For an actor.
For an actor, I would say be open to enjoy. Like one thing that you always in the actor space say, fun, fun, fun. That's so true. If you are in a mindset of fun, of having fun, there's no way to make it wrong, for you to go wrong. So I think that if you're open and joyful and willing to have fun, things will be much
wonderful
better.
Wonderful. Iris also says generous. Antonia says patient. Great. Enjoy. Natasha says, which is the motto of the actor space. Right. Fantastic. Okay, so now how about a couple of qualities a writer should have? Bam, bam. 2 qualities.
Well, a writer, I think that he should be curious. Omnivorous, as I mean, read everything. Be curious about the world, about talking to people, listening to conversations, like eavesdropping, everybody. Like search material, because all of this will be your final material one day. So curiosity, omnivorous, and discipline. Don't give up.
Okay,
Don't
fantastic.
Ever give up.
Fantastic. Natalie says, I told you it's about the universe. This is an in-joke because you two did a thing together, right?
Money too.
And Natalie, is saying this. Wonderful. Okay, what about a director? 2 qualities a director should have.
All right. Okay. I think that a director should be a listener, a very good listener. He should sense the temperature of the actors and the team that he works with. So, good listener. Be aware of what's going on, the energy,
Fantastic.
what people need, what the actors need, right? So, listener. But on the other side, I think he should be also very directed. The director should be very directed, very firm in the way that he wants to accomplish. Not his ideas, but the project in a whole. So let's go forward with it and be assertive, not be too, So that's very good. Listening and assertive.
Yeah, fantastic. And Andrea says a good observer, which relates to listening, observing, listening. Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, Andrea.
Thanks, Andrea.
Hi,
Wonderful.
Andrea.
By the way, I didn't say, but we're aiming for 45 minutes, so we still got 15 minutes here. And at the end, we'll do some questions if anybody wants to, or comments or whatever. We've got 3 or 4 more questions. But yeah, in fact, you talked about it a little bit. So Iris says, discipline and surrender equals flow. Oh, I like that. Discipline and surrender equals flow. Never thought of that. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So you talked a little bit about it, but I was going to ask you, can you talk about your relationship with the actor space and how has it helped you in a nutshell? I mean, we don't want to, but yeah, why not?
Yeah. Well, look, I went to the actor space, as you said, 14 years ago. And when I went to the actor space, I was trying to do something which was, okay, I'm an actor, I do things in acting, but I don't know the territory of the clown. I don't know. And actually, more than don't know, I don't like it. So that was my take on it. I don't like it. So clowns, I don't like clowns. What the hell, man? So I thought I made myself go and learn about clown because I didn't know. So, okay, let me try this thing. Little did I know, as in a good story, that it would be the most amazing thing. And actually, I had a great time and I learned a lot. So that was it. I was there in the clown workshop. And from that moment on, little did I know also that the teachers and the team would be kind of my family later, because I consider the actor space a kind of a family. So you guys. So anyway, so that was a very special moment. And I came back ever since, every year. Like
you've done all the workshops. You also did the buffoon one, right? As well.
The buffoon.
Yeah.
Clowns on drugs. It's amazing. It's
clowns on drugs. That's a good definition.
It's very good. It's very good because so I've been in the capacity as a student, as a collaborator, now as a teacher, and did a course with you. So it's been an amazing experience, and I think that the actor space, what it taught me, many things actually. So it gave me more confidence as an artist, definitely, much more, and it showed me that there are wonderful people in acting. Because when I started in this, people were kind of weird. I didn't know, but I found out that there are some wonderful people in this area. So that's what made me go for it, actually. So
wonderful.
That's a wonderful thing.
Fantastic. So Andrea asks if your first workshop here at the Actor Space was the clown one. It was, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Usually people start with the other one, with the creative actor or passionate nature now it's called. But, it doesn't actually matter. It's whatever calls you, like we were saying before, whatever you connect with. Okay. Yeah, I think you're quite courageous, Francisco. I'm thinking, because you also came to do the clown and you hated clowning. You were just curious. You were like, what the hell is this? And you come to do it. And then big realization for you, because you actually were, and you are, a very good comic actor. And, and in that workshop, it was clear.
Yeah.
So, okay, 3 more questions. So here I have your recently published book, right? Os mortos também dansam. I'm
Very
in
well.
Portuguese. I
Também
read
does.
it. I read it. I understood. I'd say 80% of it because it's in
8%, not
Portuguese.
bad.
I don't speak Portuguese, but I speak Spanish. So yeah, and this book actually you won an award. I understand that this theater company in Portugal, one of the most renowned one called Teatro Meridional,
Yeah.
they give an award to new dramaturgy. This is called Nova Dramaturgia Portuguesa, and they give this award to publish the book, and they actually published your book with your name here, Francisco Gomez, right? So can you talk a little bit about the book? What is it about, and where did the idea come from to write this book, this dramaturgy?
Well, that's a very cool question. Thank you. Well, yeah, look, the idea came actually, the idea duck came, and that's a good metaphor. I will use it more.
Right.
The duck of that idea, it came flying by. Well, I was having a coffee with a friend, right? So in that coffee, I had recently had a problem with my right ear, so I was hearing a ringing, constant ringing. I had a hear loss, like in this ear. So I was telling her in the coffee, oh, look, I have this problem, whatever. So we were having a conversation with my friend, and we were in a coffee shop. And during the conversation, there was a music that was playing, a Smith's music. How soon is now, actually? I will never forget it. So, and she said, she interrupted the conversation and she said, oh, I love this song. I love this song. And then I was, because she had asked me, oh, you must write something for us to be together, because she's an actress, okay? So you have to write something. So we were having a jumbled up conversation, and then when this music, and she said, oh, I love this music, and then I just got an idea of something interesting, and the idea was, okay, if a guy that worked on a radio, that he loved music was his life, what if he was becoming deaf? So what if he couldn't listen to music anymore? So that was the spark, and then I started, playing with the idea, and then developing the structure and developing the story.
Right.
And then ended up, I applied the play to this contest, and it was selected to be published by this company, Teatro Meridional. It was, I'm very proud of it, but
congratulations.
in a humble way, but proud, because it's
fantastic.
It was good.
Well,
so that's what the story is about. The story is about a guy that works in the radio, and he learns that he's becoming deaf in 2 months or whatever. So he invites his friend to his place to listen together with her his favorite playlist for the last time. It will be the last time that he will listen to music, and he wants to share it with a friend that he hasn't seen for a long time, one of his best friends. So that's it.
Yeah, wow, it's quite dramatic. I mean, the world of silence, right? I mean, we don't know what that's like. The people say it's worse to be deaf than to be blind. I've heard this. I don't know. Anyway, it's very interesting. Very. Oh, where can I buy the book? Says Natasha Elmir. Where can she buy the book?
Well, you can buy the book only in the theater, in the Teatro Meridional.
On the website?
Sorry?
On their website?
I'm not sure if they sell it online. They sell it in the theater, I think.
Okay.
I think no. I'm sure they sell it on the theater and by email. If you email them.
Well, we can always post about it on the Instagram another time. We can post the details of how to get the book if people are interested. Okay, fantastic. This one is actually signed. Francisco, signed it for us, which is lovely. Okay, so Francisco, we're coming to an end of this conversation, and then if people have questions, but yeah, I'm just curious about your current projects or plans for the future. Are there any online writing workshops happening soon? What are you doing right now? What's going on, and what are your plans?
Well, actually, I've been doing I'm planning what I'm doing right now is actually doesn't have much to do with acting. I mean, I'm still involved in the immersive theater company, but we haven't done any shows lately around here. But what I would want to do exactly, actually, is to, well, the first thing is I will have present a show of the Actor Space in April. So that will be the Freaks show. Then I'm very excited with that. We're going to present it there in Catalonia.
And and this is directed by Simon Edwards.
By Simon Edwards, of course. So I'll be doing that. And also I've been doing actually. Look, I told you before that I left marketing, but actually I didn't leave it, because I'm a kind of a creative consultant. So I'm doing a little bit of work in that area too, which is good, because I like it in my own terms. As I don't work for a company. I work for, I'm working for several as a consultant. So that's a very challenging and rewarding thing that I also love doing. Also, I'm trying to write a novel.
Okay.
So that's the thing. So
wow.
I'm doing
so
it.
Not a theater play, a novel. You're writing a novel. I also know that you did actually write for Netflix. You write a proposal. I mean, that was quite a story. Many stories you've written, right? Yeah. Okay. So Antonia says, when the Freaks were. Okay, Antonia, the Freaks is gonna be presented in Barcelona. In sometime in April, but we will put it all on the Instagram Actor Space, and then eventually, hopefully, this show will also go to other places, not just here. Okay, great. Francisco, is there anything else you'd like to say? We haven't talked much about Portugal and Lisbon, which is a wonderful city, and I'm coming in March. I'm very excited. I've been to Porto. I've never been to Lisbon. I don't know, I'm curious about Portugal and Lisbon and the culture there. But is there anything else you like to say before we ask people if they have any other questions?
Yeah, well, actually, look, there's a question there if I went to a writer's school. So, yeah. Well, I must say that I took a course in creative writing when I was 25 years, when I was 25. It was like 6 months. It was very cool. It was good. So that was the start of it, not start, but the more formal start. And then I took a script writing course when about the same age with the Nuno Artur Silva, which is a very big shot here in Portugal. And little did I know that I would be actually more interested in that. So yeah, I studied a little bit, and then of course I read a bunch of books.
Yeah,
so,
right. Yeah, about it as well. Books like the story by Robert McKee. You can actually self-educate yourself a lot on writing through books as well. Books that that people write about writing. Like one of the really good ones is Story by Robert McKee, right?
Exactly. It's a seminal work, as they say.
And there is also Save the Cat by what's his name? He actually Blake Snyder. He did a workshop here at the Actor Space, which was amazing, because this guy sold scripts to Spielberg, and he was a top Hollywood writer, and he came here to do a writing workshop, which was amazing. Okay. Great. So did I forget anything? Is there anything else you'd like to say, Francisco?
No, I think that, look, that's it. I think that writing is an expression of creativity, and it's a very rewarding one. Okay. So it can be challenging and it can be hurtful. I mean, I always say sometimes that I always prefer to have done writing than to write, because to write, it can be painful. Because there's so many choices you're making, and if it's not going well, it's a pain that we all know. The thing is to endure the pain, to go with it. It must bring joy, and sometimes it brings so much joy. But be prepared if you want a writer, or if you enjoy writing or whatever, or act. It's like acting.
I was going to say.
The first thing is like you have to appreciate mistakes. make mistakes, more mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the more able you are to go forward. But
Right.
don't be defeated by mistakes.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
create a special, a shield in order not to be affected. Your ego, not to be affected with mistakes
Yeah.
and errors. It's the
The,
way you will grow. So to be a writer, you have to be very good at making mistakes and carrying and following and carrying on,
yeah.
carrying away with it and going along with it and making it better every single time.
Yeah, the other day I heard someone, a very dear friend of mine, saying something like, don't confuse failing and failure. You can fail, but it doesn't mean, failing and it's not a failure. You just fail and then like a little baby, get up again and try to walk again. We've all done it when we were very little and we succeeded eventually. And it's this thing about not buying into failure, because we will always fail, right? We're
Sure.
human. And yes, it's to go ahead. I mean, the thing with directors, I feel, is a bit harder because they have, to fail as a director, that's tricky, because
Yeah.
you can't really fail if you're the director. I always say, who directs the director? No, is an interesting question. But it's also a very beautiful and rewarding thing, I feel, if
Yeah,
directing
I think
and
so. I think so.
yeah, and keeping that clarity. I mean, you actually have experienced many directors because you are one of the actors on the directing performance workshop at the Actor Space. So yeah, it's this thing about sometimes people really want to achieve something, but that can be unhelpful, like you were saying about being open, right?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be obsessed with the result, you
Right.
know, but
Right.
more with the process because you will
Mhm.
learn from it. The process will be always with you. The result just disappears in a day or something.
Right. Enjoy the process. Enjoy.
Exactly
Andrea
that.
asks if there will be an English version of your book sometime soon.
No, I don't think so, Andrea. I don't think so. But if there is, I will let you know. I'm not.
Yeah, we'll let
I,
everyone
I
know.
don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
But
Oh, okay. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask them now. Everyone learns by making mistakes. I learned this at the Actor Space,
Adrienne.
taking risks. Yeah, taking risks. Yeah, taking risks in a safe environment. Exactly. You got to feel safe, right, to take risks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if anyone else has any questions, this is now the time. We will be finishing soon because it's already been 48 minutes. And if not, okay. I sent some questions through the function. Oh, okay, yeah, right. 3 things a writer needs. Is it also then about getting input while, for example, taking a walk? Okay, so the question is, yeah. So I guess what Antonia is asking, you're taking a walk. Sometimes the best ideas come when you're in action. Like the other day, Simon was saying, when you are planting, in the gardening is very good for writers because you get a lot of ideas. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was about the break. Okay, okay. So this question was about the exercise, I
Oh, the
guess.
exercise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there was one more. I think I was. What is the role of a writer in this time of writing bots?
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. The AI, right?
Yeah. Iris says, playfulness to all of you and us, and hope to meet soon again, lovely people. Great, Iris. I hope so too. Hope to see you soon. And yeah, fantastic. Okay, well, I think we will wrap this up then now.
But
Go
let
and
me,
have some.
Marian, let me just address just in a quickly the question of Purple Plum 17. I don't know who that is, but of the AI, right? AI is actually a challenge, because AI now can produce texts and sometimes actually interesting texts that make sense, right? But I would say, in my defense, in our defense, writing, right? So AI can develop, can evolve a lot, but we will always be interested also in AI in several ways. Of course, not saying that it isn't interesting, but we humans will always be interested in what we as humans think and what we think of the world, you know. So an AI can say what he thinks or what he has to say about AI in an algorithm. We have to say about ourselves and how we can make sense of the world, AI included. So that will be always interested to listen to, and we will always go there for humans talking to humans, even with the help of technology. So that's what I think. Artists will always be interested in everything, but they will have a voice about whatever is happening as a human being.
Right. This was Binay, by the way. Binay that was here last year as a director, Purple Plum. Remember Binay? Vinay.
Vinay, yeah.
From India.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi,
Good.
Vinay. Lovely. Okay,
Nice.
well, we're going to wrap up. Just to say, everyone, thanks so much for joining very much. This was the first one. We're going to do this once a month, and the next one in March, we're going to interview Simon Edwards. I won't do the interview, someone else will from the Actor Space people. And we're going to be doing this, once a month, and we're going to be bringing all sorts of people. We have a lot of ideas of interesting stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Marian. Hi, Francisco. Thank you, says Adrian. Thank you, everybody. I hope this has been fun. Rather than watching telly, sometimes it's good to do something different, right? And see real people on the screen.
Real people.
And not just watch the news all the time, which, makes us all crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, brilliant. Francisco, thank you so much for your time and your generosity to do this.
Thank you very much. And I hope that the next conversations will be amazing. I'm sure I'll be here tuning in. And thank you for all you guys that have been watching and participating with questions and hearts and love around here. So thank you guys, and so see you soon.
Oh, so sorry, Teresina, you're just joining, but we are finishing now. So never mind. Tutu Seura says, thanks, what a lovely chat. This is Hazel. Oh, Hazel. Okay, Hazel. Fantastic.
Okay, work account.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Wonderful to hear you both, Natasha. Bye. Okay, guys. Have a lovely dinner, a lovely
Bye-bye,
evening. Thanks,
guys.
Francisco. See you next month.
Enjoy.
In Lisbon.
Thank you very much. See
Bye.
You soon.
Bye-bye. Bye,
Have
everybody.
a creative life, you guys.
Bye.
All of you.
Bye.
Bye.